In fact, everybody, I'm really happy to see that there are multiple eligible groups of American people that could be receiving a $2,000 check this month. According to multiple news sources, more stimulus money may be available to many people and families through what is called the Recovery Rebate Credit. The past 3 round stimulus checks actually came out with its own of requirements, and now payments were based on certain income thresholds and gradually phased out. Also, rules for which dependents qualified and how much they can receive also varied. And if you did not previously qualify for any of the past 3 stimulus checks, you may be able to file this year and claim the extra stimulus money. This is great news for seniors or adult dependents that unfortunately did not qualify to receive a stimulus check last year. But folks, remember, others will also be eligible to receive additional money if their income has gone down in the past year or even if they added another dependent to their families. So those who are still due their first checks for up to $1,200 or the second payments of up to $600 can still claim that money. However, they will need to file a separate 2020 tax return to get those funds, the stimulus funds that is. And many families have received monthly payments if they qualify for the higher child tax credit, which was put in place for this year. Those monthly checks only count toward half of the sums due to families, which the rest have to be credited at tax time. So for instance, a family with a child under age 5 may receive a total of $3,600 with $1,800 in advance payments and another $1,800 due when they file their 2021 taxes. So if you believe that President Biden can actually do something about this and send out more stimulus payments all this year, well, tell me in the comments down below. Even if Joe Manchin is holding back the stimulus checks, I will still do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check news, as well as Social Security information. So, keep watching this video, folks. I am committed to helping you guys out as much as possible with more stimulus check information. So everyone, we all know that Joe Manchin is very stubborn. In fact, Manchin ruined Democratic lawmakers' wishes to pass President Biden's Build Back Better Act last year. And now we are in the year of 2022. It's 2022, folks, and it's time for lawmakers to get together and pass Biden's economic agenda so that all Americans, including millions of seniors and Social Security beneficiaries, can at least receive some financial assistance. Now is definitely not a time for Congress to be messing around with their stimulus checks and people's livelihoods. In fact, everyone's anxiously waiting for them to take action, not later this year, but this very month. Many lawmakers, including Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer, want to get this done as soon as possible, but unfortunately Joe Manchin is hard to convince. Manchin actually told reporters that he has not engaged with any lawmakers in the White House since publicly rejecting Biden's agenda in 2021, and that is seriously so ridiculous. Joe Biden has said multiple times that he would continue to hold conversations with Manchin. That's to make sure they would end up supporting the Build Back Better plan. Schumer has also said that he would stay in communication with Joe Manchin. So, I'm actually upset to see that President Biden and Chuck Schumer didn't keep up with their word. They should have made some negotiations to get Joe Manchin on board in order to send out the fourth stimulus payments. Now, there are millions of Americans that are having a very difficult time right now because of the ongoing crisis. Lawmakers have to listen to the American people, folks. Do you agree with me? Manchin has shared his own reasons for not supporting Biden's economic agenda. Manchin has expressed concerns with the massive size of Biden's $1.75 trillion relief proposal. And one big issue that Manchin has with the proposal is that it could cause inflation to rise even more. But if more financial aid is not provided to Americans, the economy will even take longer to recover. On top of that, Manchin wants to impose income limits or work requirements to decrease the amount of Americans that will be able to receive the expanded child tax credit. Folks, many people are suffering, and I don't think that Joe Manchin realizes that. What do you think about Joe Manchin? Tell me in the comments below. However, that monthly check program of the child tax credit provides so much needed financial relief, especially during difficult times like this. There are actually many other Democrats besides Joe Manchin that do want to send Americans more stimulus checks. So it is really upsetting to see that one lawmaker can actually hold back everything, including the fourth stimulus check and an increase to the Social Security benefits.
Mr. President. Majority Leader. We're in a quorum? No. Now, Mr. President, earlier this morning I had the opportunity to join my colleagues in the Senate Rules Committee for a hearing on the progress our Capitol has made to increase the security of this complex in the aftermath of January 6th. We heard testimony from U.S. Capitol Chief of Police Thomas Manger, who in his first 6 months has done an outstanding job to make this building safer and better prepared for the sort of horrors that befell this hallowed space only 1 year ago this week. That day, on January 6th, 2021, the men and women of our Capitol Police stood on the front lines of the unimaginable, a violent assault upon the U.S. Capitol, instigated by former President Trump and carried out by a mob of radicals looking to halt the peaceful transfer of power. That day, our Capitol policemen were outnumbered and under-equipped. Yet their bravery and quick thinking saved many lives and prevented a violent riot from becoming something even worse. Today, we honor all those who stepped up that day, especially those who we've lost in the aftermath. In the years since that attack, we've gotten a lot of things done in the Senate to strengthen our Capitol Police force, to assure, from a security standpoint, that the violence of that day never happens again. Thanks to this work and to the new leadership of the Capitol Police, the U.S. Capitol today is undoubtedly considerably safer than it was a year ago. But let's be clear, let's be very clear. January 6th was not merely a senseless act of violence. It was an attempt to reverse, through violent means, the outcome of a free and a fair election. And make no mistake, the root cause of January 6th are still with us today. It lives on through the big lie pushed by Donald Trump that is undermining faith in our political system and making our country and our democracy less safe. A year after January 6th, the biggest threat to our Capitol Police, and our democracy today is the big lie perpetrated by Donald Trump. And without addressing the root causes of the events of January 6th, the insurrection will not be an aberration. It could well become the norm. Just like the Senate has the power to pass legislation supporting our Capitol Police force, we have the same power and obligation to pass legislation to address these root causes that brought the big lie to life. That is what my Senate colleagues and I are focused on, that is what my Democratic colleagues and I are focused on and are committed to doing. And we must act. More than any other point in recent history, threats of political violence are on the rise. Election administrators are facing harassment and even death threats for just carrying out their duties. These are people who are sort of like civil servants. They're simply in charge of making sure the vote is counted fairly and accurately. In many states like mine, they're bipartisan.